There is a moment when everything seems to be going just right. She smiles, she feels comfortable, and then she compliments you. Most men think, all right, I am doing well. And that exact thought is when they start to lose control. Not because they did anything wrong, but because their state changes right after the compliment. They relax, they invest more, they start needing that feeling to continue. And from that moment on, the game flips. A compliment is not always a signal to move forward. Sometimes, it is just her way of smoothing out the atmosphere. But if you treat it like a reward, you will unintentionally lose the most important thing, your unpredictability. The interesting part is, you do not even realize you have changed. No one suddenly loses their charm. It happens in very small ways. After that compliment, you start paying more attention. You begin thinking about what to say next. You choose safer lines. You try to hold on to that feeling so it does not slip away. Everything still seems fine. It is just not the same as it was at the beginning. Before, you did not have to try. After that, you start to hesitate. Before, you spoke as yourself. After that, you speak like a version of yourself that wants to be liked. And this is very hard to notice from your side. But from her perspective, it is very clear. It is not that you speak worse. It is that you become more predictable. There is no longer any space for curiosity. There is no longer that feeling of having to figure you out. There is only someone trying to hold on to attention. And when one person starts trying to hold on, the other starts to let go. The compliment is not the problem. It is just a very small signal that the atmosphere is starting to soften. And when things become more comfortable, your brain immediately does something very familiar. It tries to hold on to that feeling. You are not doing it on purpose. But you begin to avoid risk. You choose safer lines. You lose some of your edge. You stop pushing the conversation further. All of it just to avoid ruining what just made you feel good. But there is something you do not realize. Attraction does not come from comfort. It comes from that space in between, where nothing is fully clear yet. It is the place where people have to guess, to feel, to wonder, what is this person thinking? A compliment usually shows up when that space starts to disappear. And if you unintentionally make it disappear faster by becoming safe, you are not making the conversation better. You are just making it predictable. And anything that can be predicted is no longer worth pursuing. There is something you think is progress, but it is actually a sign of the end. That is when everything becomes too easy. There is no more hesitation, no more testing, pushing, pulling, only smoothness. It sounds good, but it is not, because attraction does not live in smoothness. It lives in imbalance, a little uncertainty, a little unpredictability, a slight feeling of not fully having it yet. When she compliments you, it is not when attraction increases. It is when the pressure drops. And when that pressure disappears, your brain lowers its guard too. You start to feel comfortable, but that comfort is not strength. It is a sign that you are no longer creating any pull. A person with presence does not chase comfort. They maintain their rhythm even when things become easy. They do not need compliments to continue, and they do not change when they receive one. And that is the difference, not in what is said, but in whether you are affected by it or not. Two people, the same situation. She looks at you and says, "You are really interesting to talk to." The first guy pauses for a second. Then he smiles. "Really? I have got a lot more interesting things." He starts talking faster. One sentence runs into the next. He begins to hold the rhythm. The conversation keeps going, but something gets lighter. She still smiles, but she does not look at him the same way as before. That attention is no longer there. The second guy, he hears the same thing. He pauses, just for a brief moment. He does not rush to respond. He does not deny it, just a slight smirk. Do not believe everything you see. Then he changes the topic. No explanation, no trying to capitalize on it. The conversation does not become more comfortable, but it becomes deeper. She is no longer in a complimenting state. She shifts into observing, not because the line is better, but because one person follows the feeling. The other does not need it. The difference is not in the compliment. It is in what you do, in the moment right after. You do not need to learn how to respond better. You just need to not change. The problem is not the compliment. It is how you interpret it in your head. You treat it like a reward, and immediately you start acting like someone who has just been rewarded. You want to keep it. You want to recreate it. And from that point on, everything starts to shift off balance. The simplest way to fix it is to stop treating compliments like a milestone. It does not validate you. It does not change your position. It is just a sentence that passes by. You hear it, you acknowledge it, but you do not hold on to it. There is no need to react right away. No need to take advantage of it. No need to push further. Just let it sit there and keep going as if nothing happened. Someone who can hold their rhythm does not need to cling to comfortable moments, and they are not pulled by them either. When you no longer need compliments, you start to become unpredictable. And when you are unpredictable, everything starts to have tension again. It is not the compliment that makes you lose attraction. It is the moment you begin to need it. From that point on, you no longer speak as yourself. You speak like someone trying to hold on to the feeling you just had. And that is when everything shifts. Attraction does not disappear instantly. It just slowly thins out, until eventually there is nothing left to hold. A person with presence does not need that moment to repeat. They just keep going. If you start noticing these very small changes, you will realize that everything before was not random at all. And when you are no longer pulled by these small things, you begin to control the bigger ones. Follow along if you want to understand more deeply how to hold your frame in any situation.